Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference Meet the Speaker series. Lynda Emmett, how are you?
I'm fabulous, John. Absolutely great now. All's good. Cheers.
Brilliant, brilliant. You are going to be presenting on Friday, but before you tell us all about your actual presentation, which I'm going to tell you is on Neuro-Sonic Healing, a mind-body approach to trauma with hypnosis and sound healing. Tell us a little bit about you and how you got into this and why this is the area that you focus on.
Okay, well, I suppose I started out in hypnotherapy, meditation, and coaching for my own healing. I suffered with chronic anxiety and I had a lot of grief and trauma, and I started my journey learning about these things to help me. And when I realized how powerful they were, I just thought there's so many more people out there like me struggling with stress, anxiety, trauma, and using loads of coping mechanisms instead of actually looking at what's going on internally. So that's how I started. And I studied hypnotherapy and coaching first, and absolutely love hypnotherapy. It's powerful. But I realized through learning and time and working with clients that we often take quite a top down approach, working with the subconscious, the mind, and things like that. And all of our emotions, our nervous system, all of that is actually in the body. So a
Yes.
lot of the sensations we feel and what's going on is all stored in the body. So I started looking at more of a bottom up approach to combine with the top down and create a more holistic approach. And that's when I really dived into sound healing. And my first experiences with it, or again, the things I was carrying were absolutely phenomenal. So I started studying in that, and now I use a very combined approach, hypnotherapy along with sound healing, because we know it's everything is electrochemical energy. Everything is
Absolutely.
so the sound healing reaches people at a completely different level. And often people come in, I know certainly to my practice with PTSD, FND, grief, or huge trauma. And there's times they're not fully able to open all of that back up straight away. What I find with the sound healing is it gives you the option of taking the approach of regulation before awareness. So literally regulating the nervous system in a much more gentle way before you move into the awareness of what's actually going on or driving the behaviors that they've come in with. And sound healing itself, it's thousands and thousands of years old, and we're more moving back to those kind of modalities now because people are realizing that it's far more internal. So I'm probably rambling, but that's a little bit
You're
of
absolutely fine.
why
You make
I,
a really fascinating point because one of the things that I often think about is that a lot of times trauma gets trapped in an emotional experience.
yeah.
So it's the experience that tips the emotional brain over, which then floods in the
Mhm,
body. But I'll
mm.
also ask you where your mind is because you can hold your brain, your heart, your lung, your liver. Where's your mind? We use that term every day.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
that's one reality. But the second is you're literally reverse engineering that because by getting the nervous system to feel safe and then positive
Mhm.
suggestion, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
is what's happening.
Yeah,
Okay.
and there's a number of different approaches that you can take with it, but it's I mean like through studies, it's been proven time and time again. Cancer research, brain injury, dementia. There's a number of studies out there giving you how exceptionally powerful sound healing is, and if you bring in hypnotherapy alongside that, it just as practitioners it gives us so much more to work with. Now, does that mean going out and buying a bucket load of expensive tools? No, it doesn't. There's two or three really, really phenomenal tools that you can use within hypnotherapy, and you're reaching them at a different level, a frequency level, a vibrational level. And what happens when we use these instruments, as we know, different, whether you want to call them chakras, meridians, or organ systems within the body, including the brain, are set at different frequencies. They all operate at different frequencies, and
Mm.
these sound healing instruments are set to those frequencies. So you can literally, by the brain hearing them, and train the brain to a different state long before you start doing the talking work, I suppose. So it takes a lot of the heavy lifting of the hypnotherapist, and it makes the experience itself far gentler for a client, because we've all had clients that we've come in first and second session, say, and then the client goes, so we don't see them. And sometimes that's because of what the client is feeling and experiencing when they're with us, not because of us, but because of what it's opening up for them. So sound healing allows you to do that in a much gentler way, and then bringing in your hypnotherapy tools on top of that. And you can do this in a sitting position with the client, or you can have them lay down, cozy up in a blanket, and do it differently, do it more meditative, hypnotic with the instruments. So there's so many different ways you can use it, and it really does help the hypnotherapist not do as much of the heavy lifting, and makes it much gentler, as I say, for the client.
It's really interesting, and I want you to go into your talk in a minute, but I'm just thinking now, because there's hypno breath work at the conference, there
Mm,
is hypno yoga at the conference,
yeah,
and there's hypno sound healing effectively.
yeah.
I know you're calling it a thing, but effectively that's what we're talking about.
Mm,
So, like so many other aspects are being built into linking with hypnosis to allow the body to make those changes,
yeah.
because that's where the stuff is stored. And we all have read, hopefully, the book The Body Keeps the Score. So
Mm,
all this does is use that information to reverse engineer so much of this stuff. So tell us a
mm.
little bit. No, don't give too much away, because you want people to be dead.
Spoiler
But
alert.
but so your talk, tell us a little bit just about the talk itself, the
Well,
presentation.
I suppose it's a little of what I already said there. But what I want to do is, again, as hypnotherapists, we sometimes get stuck, and this allows us create a much more holistic approach to dealing. You don't deal with the nervous system, and that's where we're triggered for. It's energy, nervous system, brain. The brain is the last to catch up. So if we can get our clients at a nervous system level,
Yeah.
and install that safety before we do the work, you get much further. Now, within the talk, I'll share some of the, I suppose, some of the evidence of sound healing, but a lot of what I actually do within my practice, and how easy it is for other hypnotherapists to take that approach. And therefore, even within their business, it's something extra they have. It's another tool they have. And as I say, it removes some of the talking, because we do need to, when we're working with a client, they are a whole being. They're a nervous system, a brain, predominantly, as you know, electromagnetic energy. And this allows us work with them in a holistic way, all those parts of them, at a vibrational frequency way of working with them, which is another level of actually
And
working with people.
will those attending get to see it, or get the tools that they could use, or how will that work?
A bit of both, a bit of both, absolutely, because I
I
do
love
think,
demonstrations. Way to
yeah,
go. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Bringing their magic.
Yeah.
Uh, Absolutely, because I do want them to see and feel what I'm
Yes.
talking about, and experience it. There's no point in me talking about it if I'm not going to allow them to actually experience it, to feel it, like, do you know what I
Wonderful.
mean?
Brilliant.
And this is, I mean, like, the difference even in the bookings that I'm getting, and that's for groups and one-to-ones, and the difference above all that I'm seeing in my own clients, and how they're feeling when they're leaving, as opposed to, I mean, like, I'm not so much, handing out as many tissues. So I mean, like, you're saving on the budget as well. I'm only messing, but you're
Yeah, we're
giving
still a
them,
business. Yeah.
yeah, you're giving them a different experience, but getting more powerful results from it.
Wonderful. Okay, cool. That sounds so exciting. It's going to be a wonderful talk. You're on Friday afternoon,
Yes.
and it's going to be absolutely wonderful. It's a wonderful 3 days. I'm so looking forward to it.
Oh, so am
I
I.
think as we record this, there's only about 6 weeks left to go. So
Yeah.
it's great fun. Great.
Yay.
Right. Listen, thank you so much for your time this morning.
No
Much
problem at
appreciated.
all.
And to everyone watching, thank you for taking the time to watch it. And we look forward to seeing you in Dublin on 24th, 25th, 26th of April, 2026.
We
And
do indeed.
www.Irish Hypnotherapy Conference for everything you need to know. It's all there.
Cool.
Have a wonderful day.
You can have a gorgeous day.